On January 22, 2023, a garbage collector in Bogotá, Colombia, was rummaging through a trash container near a park. After removing something, he was paralyzed with shock upon discovering what was at the bottom of the container. Inside, there was a blue suitcase sealed with black tape, surrounded by several trash bags. In the suitcase lay the body of a woman, easily deduced as her head protruded from the suitcase. Alarmed by the find, the worker drove a few blocks and reported it to the authorities. The city police promptly dispatched a team of officers to investigate. Upon arrival, the police officers were confronted with a gruesome scene. The lifeless body was folded and tucked inside the suitcase. Within hours, it was confirmed that the victim was Valentina. At first glance, the body showed no visible signs of violence, no traces of firearm use, no signs of neck violence, and it was not dismembered. Upon opening the suitcase, detectives noticed that the woman was in pajamas with a belt, indicating that the assailant attacked while she was asleep. Identification became possible due to a black cardboard box on one side of the suitcase. Inside were items that helped identify the body, including a student ID and a password used by the victim when applying for her diploma. Additionally, some documents and personal belongings were found, which struck the investigating team as unusual, given that such cases usually lacked identifying documents. After the discovery of the suitcase with the woman's body, the police contacted her relatives, who confirmed that she had been with her boyfriend, a U.S. citizen, on Saturday, January 21st. The forensic examination revealed that the woman had suffered multiple blows to the head, showing signs of multiple body traumas, bleeding in the right side of the tongue, and furrows around the neck, indicating strangulation. Valentina Trespalacios, born on December 16, 2001, in Bogotá, Colombia, was a student of the Faculty of Commerce and International Business. From a young age, she pursued music and, thanks to her talent, became a DJ after obtaining her professional DJ diploma. In 3 years, she built a successful career, performing with major artists and celebrities in various Colombian cities and beyond. She also toured different countries, showcasing her talent at festivals and major events. Her community highlighted her talent and prospects in the electronic music scene. Valentina was a cheerful and happy young woman who enjoyed the party scene. She actively engaged in social media, sharing her performances and daily life. Her tragic death left her community in mourning, and her achievements in the music industry were highly appreciated, leading to her being considered the best amateur DJ in Colombia. On her social media, she regularly shared two important aspects of her life. First was her growing success on the electronic music scene, where she successfully performed, captivating the hearts of listeners. The second aspect was her romantic relationship with the American, John Polous. They met through social media in late 2021, and over time, their communication became more intense. Initially, Valentina was not seeking stability and commitments, but their relationship transformed over time, and the young couple became serious. John Polous, residing in America, had serious intentions to share his life with Valentina. He even sent her money for cosmetic procedures, such as lip augmentation with hyaluronic acid, and suggested she undergo breast augmentation surgery with silicone implants. These changes in her appearance made her the center of attention wherever she went. John constantly sent her money, expressing his care. Soon, he considered marrying Valentina and was willing to move to Colombia to start a family. However, Valentina had doubts due to John's jealousy, who even hired a private detective to monitor her acquaintances and movements. This raised concerns among Valentina's family. By January 2023, John Polous was ready for significant steps and began processing documents for a life together with Valentina. He rented an apartment north of Bogotá, where he planned to spend the weekend with her until they found permanent housing. John arrived in Bogotá on January 19th, as shown by surveillance cameras capturing his entry into the apartment at around 8:53 p.m. He carried a backpack and a blue suitcase, similar to the one in which Valentina's body was found. When news of the horrific discovery emerged, attention naturally turned to John Polous, as he was the last person to see Valentina alive. However, when detectives attempted to contact him, the call was forwarded to Valentina's family voicemail. Polous appeared externally as a good person, calm and kind. He did not show aggression, and his intentions regarding marriage with the young woman seemed sincere. They could not believe he could be involved in this heinous crime. However, these doubts were dispelled when investigators arrived at the building where the man rented the apartment. Upon inspection, it was found that he had left, and his whereabouts became unknown. After news of Valentina's death, John Polous deleted his social media profile early on Monday, January 23rd. At present, he is considered the main and only suspect. Everything unraveled when investigators reviewed surveillance footage in the building, spanning several hours, in which the young woman and her boyfriend were present from Friday evening to early Sunday morning. During this time, the body was discarded into the trash container. John Polous arrived in Bogota on January 19th. Even though they had agreed to meet on the 20th, WhatsApp messages revealed that on that evening, they started arguing as Valentina was not expecting him due to a party. The couple didn't see each other the entire day on January 20th because of the argument, and it wasn't until evening that surveillance cameras captured both of them in a parking lot. It was 6 p.m. when John was packing Valentina's belongings to move to a new apartment and start a new life. On the same day, Valentina bid farewell to her family and friends, heading to her destination by car. She made a video call to her mother, informing her that she was going home. The video showed Valentina with Polous, who had rented a car for moving. At 7 p.m., surveillance cameras recorded the moment Valentina entered the apartment with her belongings, accompanied by Polous. A few minutes later, Valentina sent her mother several video clips, showcasing the apartment and how they went back and forth for their things with John. Cameras also documented their final move and return to the new residence. By then, it was 1 a.m., and Saturday, January 21st, had begun. 2 hours later, around 3 a.m., the couple ordered a car to go party in a nightclub in the southern part of the city. Valentina was supposed to give a small presentation, and they arrived at the club around 4 a.m. Almost immediately, Valentina started working, and John Polous remained by her side. By around 5 a.m., her performance concluded, and the couple headed to the nightclub's office, holding hands. There, they met the club owner, his wife, and her friend. At 6 a.m., the couple left the establishment, and it was the last time friends saw Valentina alive. On that day, Valentina contacted her friend by phone, saying she had no plans to go out that Saturday. She mentioned that she would probably stay in the apartment with her partner and might go somewhere for a snack later or cook something at home. The last communication with Valentina's friend occurred at 9 p.m. through video call. From her perspective, Valentina's mother, Laura, emphasized that her 13-year-old son was the last one to talk to Valentina via video call. At that moment, Valentina was in bed with John, and both appeared very happy. At 10:43 p.m. on January 21st, surveillance cameras captured the young woman with her boyfriend for the last time. The footage showed Valentina peeking out of the apartment door while John stood outside looking pensive and a bit anxious, pacing back and forth. He then called the elevator to go down and pick up a delivery. The next morning, January 22nd, at 9 a.m., cameras again recorded Polous leaving the room, carrying 2 bags of trash. However, Valentina was not with him this time. He headed to the parking lot, put the bags on the rear seat, and returned with 2 suitcases, which he loaded into the trunk. Polous went back up to the apartment, took out a suitcase covered with a gray blanket, and placed it on a delivery cart. Then he brought out another bag and returned for the suitcase once more. Finally, he lifted the blanket-covered suitcase, loaded it into the trunk, followed by the bag. After that, he returned to the apartment. At this time, the clock showed 10 a.m. At 4:30 p.m., he was seen at the airport, and on Monday, January 23rd, he was declared the main suspect. The Ministry of Security offered a $1 million reward for information on the whereabouts of the person involved in Valentina Trespalacios' murder. Colombian authorities sought Interpol's assistance to issue a wanted notice for Polous, who had left the country. On the evening of January 24th, the Panamanian National Police announced that they had detained Polous at the Tucumán International Airport as he attempted to fly to Turkey. Immediately after, Colombian authorities began the deportation process to obtain answers from him regarding Valentina's death. During the investigation, over 14 specialists, experts in criminal investigation and intelligence, analyzed more than 300 hours of video recordings found during searches. This was the result of methodological work carried out in collaboration with the country's prosecutor general. After Polous' arrest, another crucial detail emerged in the case: Valentina's mobile phone, found near the territory of the El Dorado International Airport by a security guard. The man discovered the phone under the area of a gas station and brought it home. The phone was without a SIM card, and its owner was unknown. A few hours later, this phone was put up for sale after being formatted. Unfortunately, valuable information was lost. The driver of the car ordered by Valentina and Polous provided testimony that also became important for the investigation. The driver stated that Valentina exited first, got into the car, and shouted that she had mistakenly written something. Later, it turned out that she had contacted customer support with a message saying, "Help, I am in danger." The driver noticed, but Valentina replied that everything was fine. Then Polous got into the car, and they started speaking in English. The driver, knowing English, asked if everything was okay, to which Valentina replied that everything was fine. During the conversation, they switched to English. In the course of the conversation, Polous began writing a message to Valentina in Spanish, directed to her father. At 4 a.m., the driver dropped the couple off at a nightclub, and he forgot about the incident. However, a few days later, he learned about the death of the young woman. Valentina's friend, residing in Cartagena, arrived at the prosecutor's office in Bogotá to hand over her computer. Valentina's DJ had left her WhatsApp session open on the computer, and the chats could provide clues about what happened. One such piece of evidence was a message in the chat where the friend noticed a suitcase, supposedly containing Valentina's body, which was found. The friend recounted, "I noticed that Polous sent a message to Valentina on the day he arrived in Bogotá and sent her several selfies with the luggage he was carrying. The suitcase in which John carried his things looked like the one authorities found in the container. Even the color was the same. No one can explain why the young woman left her session open on her friend's computer." The truth is that all these messages helped the police better understand what happened on the day Valentina was killed. Forensic examination revealed that the cause of death was mechanical asphyxiation due to strangulation with a rope. Signs of violence were found on her body before she died. Forensic experts concluded that Valentina died in her sleep, as she was dressed in nightwear. During the investigation, John Polous was charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Despite the incriminating circumstances, the suspect did not admit guilt and claimed that his rights were violated during his arrest in Panama. The court hearing lasted over 5 hours, and Polous was assisted by a translator due to his limited knowledge of the Spanish language. Language proficiency became one aspect influencing the process. According to investigators, John Polous is responsible for Valentina's murder, as he was the last person to see her alive and attempted to escape by deleting his social media profiles. Additional evidence points to Polous' peculiar behavior towards women. He was married, had 3 children, and had a previous conviction for violence against women in the USA. The investigation also revealed that he actively used adult content pages and engaged in strange conversations with victims. Currently, Polous is held in a private cell in a prison in Bogotá. Investigators continue to gather material evidence to establish the motive behind this horrific murder. Authorities are preparing to press charges according to the criminal code, which could lead to a lengthy imprisonment for the American. This case, like many others, underscores the dangers of social media when interacting with unverified individuals. Valentina thought she had found love, but unfortunately, she became a victim. This serves as a reminder of the need for caution in online communication.